Okay. So we've got different types of volcanoes. One we call a shield volcano. It's when lava builds up just over time. You get these gentle slopes. You kind of see it back here in the background. To look at it, it might just look like a regular plain old mountain to you. You know, nothing that special. We got something called a composite volcano. This is when lava and ash build up quickly. This one has a lot of eruptions. This one just has some slow, occasional eruptions. And it's got very steep slopes. They also will call it a cone or a cinder volcano. You'll hear it referred to those as well. But that's your two main types. You'll see a shield. It's got the gentle slopes. Composite has steep slopes that are cone shaped. And then you've got something called a caldera. It's a depression that's left after a magma chamber empties during an eruption. So if you get a really violent volcanic eruption, sometimes you get these little chambers left behind. You can see both here. Sometimes they'll fill in with water and maybe have some like a circular or kind of semicircular type of lake. Sometimes they just look like a big depression in the earth, but that's what that is. That's where a volcano has erupted, and once that magma chamber empties, then everything just kind of comes crashing back down to fill in the void of where it was. And let's talk about Pompeii. Pompeii was a city that was around up until about maybe, I think it was in the 80s BC era, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly, but I think that's when it was. Pompeii is a city in Italy, and what you see behind us is called Mount Vesuvius. This is one of the more famous volcanic eruptions that ever happened. And one of the reasons is that it happened so quickly and there was so much ash and that going on that it literally froze the people in the town in place. And we'll take in a little slideshow and show you some of these pictures. So here you can see where the ash has covered these people so quickly that they were literally just stopped in their tracks. Now, obviously, they look like they were probably laying down, but we don't know. They could have been walking and just suffocated due to that cloud. But what's happened is, as the cloud covered them up, their bodies are literally trapped inside. So there's probably still skeletal remains in there, a few things like that possibly. It's hard to tell, but it's basically just like a casing around them at this point. But you can see everything. You can see the arms here. You can see legs and feet. And this person, it looks maybe female. I don't know that for sure, but is curled up like in a fetal position. Looks like there's some body parts over here as well. Here, these people were all just kind of laying down. You can see legs here and arms. There's a face here with an arm, again in the leg, and here's another body. There's some more legs. When it hit the city, it just hit it really quick. These people didn't have much time to respond, and that's why you just see this kind of litterment of bodies. Again, you can see here, this is probably one of the more creepy ones. It looks like somebody was probably trying to crawl out or get away from it, and they just didn't make it, and then the ash covered them up. But with this one, you can even see the facial features somewhat. This is, I believe, the same picture, just from a different angle, a little bit closer up, but you can see the leg here. And somebody might have cleared some of this ash out to make it look where you can see it more, but definitely you can see somebody was trying to, whatever, maybe hold themselves up or something. Here's a body. Looks like maybe they're trying to shield their face. I don't know exactly what's going on. It's just a kind of a weird situation. Let me see. I think some of these videos are a little bit longer. That one's 3 minutes. That one's 4. We'll go ahead and watch these videos too. And again, if you can't hear them very well, go ahead and play them for yourself. Let me see.
Our planet has a violent soul. Majestic and often destructive, volcanic explosions rattle our collective imagination. Krakatoa, Mount St. Helens, Etna, Eyjafjallajökull, the images simultaneously strike fear and awe in our hearts. But how did these giant mountains form, and where does all that destructive force come from? At least 50 eruptions rock the Earth each year, meaning our planet is literally bursting apart at the seams. The Earth's crust is made up of about 17 slabs of land called tectonic plates that float on the superheated magma that makes up most of the planet's interior. Magma is the Earth's lifeblood, churning restlessly beneath the crust. And wherever it can, it's trying to burst through. It's at these spots that volcanoes form. Our planet is home to some 500 active volcanoes. While some volcanoes, like those in Hawaii, break through a thin point in the crust called a hotspot, the vast majority of volcanoes occur on active fault lines where tectonic plates meet. The most volatile region is the Ring of Fire, a geological fault belt that rims the Pacific Ocean and holds roughly 75% of all the Earth's volcanoes. Typically, volcanoes take one of two forms. Shield volcanoes, wide and broad with lava usually slowly oozing out of them, and composite or stratovolcanoes, steeper and more violent. When hot liquid magma reaches the surface, whether in a slithering flow or a booming eruption, we call it lava. Though molten lava may seem threatening, it's not known to move quickly. A volcano's pyroclastic flow is far more deadly. This poisonous ash cloud can race down the slope of a volcano like a bullet train, obliterating everything in its path at speeds topping 100 miles per hour. It's what stopped the residents of Pompeii dead in their tracks. But despite the volcano's brutal destruction, it is also a force of beauty and rebirth for the planet. Lava creates new lands where life can flourish. Like it or not, volcanoes are part of the planet's life cycle. As the Earth continues to explode, gurgle, and slither its molten heart out, we must learn to live side by side with its awesome power.
It's a glimpse into the center of the Earth. It's like listening to the heartbeat of the planet. The physiological effects of being inside the volcano are significant in that you have every force down there trying to kill you. All right, so let's use the drone to... I wanted to share the Marham crater that's located in the island nation of Vanuatu by bringing a team with me and documenting this place in a way that's never been seen. The drone that we used is called the Phantom 2 Vision Plus. We had also GoPros mounted onto these particular drones with gimbal devices so that no matter how much they shook, the video remained stable. We were able to take a series of thousands of photographs around the top of the crater and then process those using a specialized software to render the first of its kind 3D model of the volcano from inside. We were fortunate in that we got the footage we were looking for, and unfortunate in the fact that we lost our drones. They fell to their demise, some into the lava and others just from the incredible amount of heat and unstable air. You have sulfur dioxide and toxic gases that are superheated and just an incredible radiant heat that exceeds 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit standing right next to it.
Well, if you're looking for extreme locations, it doesn't get much better than an erupting volcano on Vanuatu. We were there to investigate how quickly microbial colonization happens on rocks. We certainly wouldn't imagine that there is life in the lava lake itself, just way too hot for anything to happen. But the instant the rock cools to below about 120 degrees Celsius, it's considered a habitable environment. Getting a handle on how microbes colonize this particular substrate is a good example of what will happen across the planet and has happened across the planet throughout geologic time. Having the cameras everywhere, particularly during the sampling at the very edge of the lava lake, is critical because we can go back and see exactly how far we were from the edge, exactly how closely distributed these newly formed rocks were. This isn't something you can measure in the moment. 3D reconstruction of the crater itself will be very useful, and figuring out which layers are iron rich, which layers are sulfur rich. Within the caldera as a whole, there's certainly life. Coating the walls as you go down on some of the surfaces down at the bottom, almost certainly there's a high microbial constituency.
The greatest scientific value is just having videographic support that can be used in tandem with other research that's happening in the world. I really believe there's an opportunity to merge those worlds of exploration and tech and coming back and reporting on all kinds of information that has not yet been discovered.